Good morning. It is day 100 of hiking the Appalachian Trail in 100 days. Got an early start this morning, woke up at 4:30 and was on the trail a little bit after 5 o'clock. And it's a little bit before 6 o'clock now. And the goal is to reach Springer Mountain, which is less than 5.5 miles away by now, before 8:30 or 9 at the latest. And at the rate I'm going and when I started, I should be there, I'm thinking, sometime around 8. So has been mostly downhill this morning so far. Had a little bit of uphill, then we're heading down to about 2,500 feet, and then I think the last 4 miles or so will be a climb of about 1,200 feet up to Springer Mountain, which is at 3,700. So it's about 7:15 now, and I've been hiking just over 2 hours, and I have somewhere between a mile and a mile and a half left to Springer Mountain. There's a little bit of flat here, but once I get to the parking lot, then it's pretty much straight uphill the last mile, which it actually looks like I'm getting to the parking lot right here, which means I only have a mile left. So this is the parking lot at the base of Springer Mountain, or partway up Springer Mountain, and I believe it's about a mile from the top, so got a mile to go of my entire Appalachian Trail journey. Pretty exciting. I'm getting pretty close to the top now. It has been pretty windy this morning. I don't know if I mentioned it yesterday, but 2 different people I talked to yesterday said that it's supposed to rain for a few days starting later today, and looks like this is the trail to the Springer Mountain shelter, which is less than a quarter mile from the top of Springer Mountain. But like I was saying, those guys mentioned it might rain starting sometime today, I think later in the afternoon or evening, and rain for a few days from some hurricane. So I'm thinking maybe this wind is kind of the precursor to that and coming from that hurricane, but who knows? I have no idea. I haven't checked the weather in a long time. I've only checked the weather a few times on this trip, and that's just when it's been raining pretty hard, and I was like, let me check the radar and see if it's gonna last like a lot longer or if it's gonna be done soon. But aside from that, no weather checking. So the final 5 or 10 minutes of my through hike here, and honestly it feels unreal. I wouldn't say I feel like I've failed a lot over the past few years, but I feel like I've set a lot of goals for myself that have been pretty aggressive, and a lot of times I have come up short of those goals, which is not the end of the world, because like I said, I think a lot of those goals have been aggressive and definitely a stretch, but sometimes it doesn't give you the most confidence when you seem to be falling short of a lot of your goals. But this one is one that I set probably close to a year ago when I decided to do the trail. I said I'm gonna do it in 100 days, and here we are. Today is day 100, and I am within minutes of completing that goal. And less than a minute after the end of that last video, I've reached the top of Springer Mountain, and the southern terminus of the Appalachian Trail. Appalachian National Scenic Trail, Springer Mountain, elevation 3,782 feet, southern terminus, Chattahoochee National Forest. So that is an incredible feeling. And this is another little cool plaque. This is the, well, first of all, this is either the first or, for me, the last blaze on the Appalachian Trail. And little plaque here, Appalachian Trail, Georgia Domain, a footpath for those who seek fellowship with the wilderness. That's pretty neat. So, like I mentioned, I do have a little trick up my sleeve, and right now we can see it's 7:40 a.m. on September 12th. And I started hiking the trail on June 5th, but I had to summit Katahdin before I got to the official starting point. And I reached the summit of Katahdin sometime around 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and then started back down the trail around 9 o'clock on June 5th. And so, in terms of elapsed time, if I started on June 5th around 9 a.m., let's just say 8:45, and I ended today on September 12th at 7:40 a.m., and if we calculate the elapsed time, then that's a total of 98 days, 22 hours, 55 minutes. So realistically, that's really 99 days of hiking the Appalachian Trail. So technically I finished on day 100, but I can also claim that I did it in 99 days, which I'm a little happy about, to say I finished a little bit early technically, but it's all in technicalities. I'm finished now, and that's what's important. And it's a little windy up here. Actually, it's pretty windy up here on top of the mountain, and the mountain's a little exposed. So I put my jacket on here because it's getting a little chilly since I'm not hiking. But what I didn't mention 2 days ago when I was at Neil Gap at the Outfitter there is that I bought a second ice cream sandwich, freeze-dried ice cream sandwich, because I wanted to have ice cream when I finished at the top of Springer Mountain. I thought that would be cool since ice cream's kind of been my thing along the trip. So have it here. Got a little crushed in my bag over the last 2 days, but still tastes great. So I've been here up on the top of the mountain about an hour and a half now, and the views are diminished. The clouds have really come in and fog has come in, and can't see much of anything anymore. I think my girlfriend Alexis should be here within an hour or so. She's hiking up from the bottom of Amicalola Falls. I think she might be running some. I'm not sure though how much she's able to run or how steep the trails are or whatever, but she's on her way up, should be here within an hour probably, and then we're gonna hike back down together to the Amicalola Falls State Park Visitor Center. So Alexis got to the top of Springer just after 10 o'clock, and we're headed back down to Amicalola Falls State Park. And the visitor center there, it's been pretty windy, and it's been drizzling a little bit, but hasn't really been raining too much so far, so definitely good to see her, and looking forward to that iconic photo at the archway. So we're here at the Amicalola Falls, and a pretty nice view out over this little valley here, and see some mountains out there actually. Man, wish I could get down there and collect some of that money. There's a good amount down there. Going down the stairs here, and falls are still out in front of us. This road is kind of squishy.